these sessions, and they do get added to our Inside Real Estate YouTube channel. In fact, a little background information, if maybe, someone just shared this link with you, you have no idea how you got here, how to join again, how often they post, let me give you a little background information. Once you jump into your KV Core platforms, you can always head on over to our live training calendar right here on the right-hand side. And our KV Core Success Meetups are held weekly, every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So from the live training calendar, just choose the time zone which best applies to you. I'll let you know for typical weeks, Tuesdays and Thursdays tend to cover more KV Core basics and are typically held by our training team. Wednesdays tend to get kind of more advanced marketing strategies and are typically held for our Done For You Services team. I do apologize. Our Done For You Services specialist, Heather, was unfortunately out this week. So I will also be back tomorrow to cover tomorrow's success meetup. We're going to talk a little bit about updating email signatures tomorrow. Now for those success meetups, it's tips, tricks, and Q&A. So there's always a given topic. If you have any suggestions for topics that you'd love to see in a future success meetup, feel free to pop them in the chat or Q&A. Always happy to take your suggestions. Now, if you want to know ahead of time what the meetings will be covering, we do typically post those in our Inside Real Estate Facebook group, which you can actually find the link to this also through our live training calendar, but I'll pop it in the chat for all of you guys here today. A couple things I'll mention about the Inside Real Estate Facebook group for you guys. Great way to synergize with like-minded individuals, find out how other users are, achieving success with their KV Core platforms. And of course, you can see that little example there of, how we typically post the success meetup topics in there. So I'll pop this in the chat for you guys. And then I mentioned that these webinars are recorded and added to our YouTube channel. So the Inside Real Estate YouTube channel can also be found through the live training calendar. There we go. There's that YouTube channel link. I'll also pop it into the chat for you guys. Now, when you first click on this, it will actually take you to one of our older playlists, our Next Level Strategies, I believe it's called. And that one's really great if you're looking for kind of more advanced video content. So if you're kind of beyond the beginner level and you're looking to really take your KV Core platform to the next step, you can always head over. I'm going to pop this YouTube channel in the chat for you guys, but you can always head over to the playlist button here. And if you're looking for kind of the more beginner content, like what we cover in a lot of these success meetups, we have a success meetup playlist. And then we also have next level strategies if you're looking to take your KV Core platform to the next level. All right, one more resource I'm going to share out in the chat before we get going here is I want to let you know that every time I host one of these success meetup webinars, I typically create a handy little doc or a little cheat sheet with support articles related to our topic. So this is technically, if you guys are joining us again from our session last Tuesday, I kind of started this discussion of showing your contacts some love for Valentine's Day. I like to do a lot of our holiday specials. So I kind of started this process a week before, so you had a jump start, but we didn't get to cover everything on our list today. So today is kind of part two. I know for some of you, especially if you're on the East Coast, you may be well into your Valentine's Day and might not be ready to, might not be worth it to update your whole website for one day if you're not planning on leaving it on your website for the rest of the week. But keep in mind that you can keep these suggestions in your back pocket for future holidays down the road. So here's this doc that I promised you guys. I'll post it in the chat if you don't already have access to this. This is what I like to consider kind of my little agenda. There we go in the chat. Can't talk and type at the same time today. I apologize. And for those of you that are watching this recording later on, say through the Facebook channel or the YouTube channel, we'll typically try to post the support doc there as well. So you will be able to access this later on. So I mentioned this is kind of part two in our series, last Show Your Contacts Some Love webinar was held last Tuesday. Last Tuesday, we talked about part one, which was all about messaging for the holiday. I wanted to give you guys a jump start if you're considering using KV Core's scheduled mass emailer to set up some holiday messages in advance. And you can reuse those, in future years as well. So you could kind of take one of these email suggestions and set it up for next year if you really wanted to. So while it's Valentine's Day, and most of you that if you were going to set something up an email in advance, you probably would have done so far. If you guys don't have anything like that scheduled and you want to still send out a message today, or you could do it you could do it tomorrow, day after Valentine's Day. I will let you know, little pro tip. Sometimes it's actually a good idea to send out holiday messaging the day before or the day after, just to kind of avoid, the fact that their inboxes will probably be flooded on the day of. So it never hurts to send it a day late or a day after. But last week, I shared out this sharing token. This is technically a sharing token to a smart campaign, but let me explain what it is that I created for you guys. So in KV Core, we'll back up just a couple of steps for anyone who's new in the audience here today. In KV Core, there's lots of places where you can send out mass emails, mass text messages, and a lot of places throughout the platform that utilize our pre-created templates in the system. So for example, last week I showcased through the marketing tab, I went to schedule mass email, and I showcased that there are a lot of pre-created KV Core holiday templates. But unfortunately, we didn't have one that was pre-created for Valentine's Day. So I made a couple options for you guys ahead of time to utilize in the system. Now, I also went over discussions or topics, ways that you can generate your own custom email template using our advanced email editor tools, add in your own photos, add in links to your social media pages, add in buttons so people call you or text you or respond to you. But for anyone who wasn't here for last week's session, I'll let you know, I'll explain how you can utilize this token to add those email templates to your own account. And then if you did want to catch last week's session, I'll just let you know that recording link popped it at the bottom of this doc. If you want to go click that agenda link in the chat, and I'll pop in today's recording link here as well. All right, so let's explain this little sharing token and how it works. So I created some email templates for you guys through the system. It looks like I created a campaign, but you're not going to use it like a smart campaign. So in the marketing tab, under your smart campaign section, I'm going to go click on manage campaigns here real quick. And you'll notice that we've got my campaigns. These are the campaigns that you've already added to your system. They may or may not be turned on. In the KV Core library, you'll see all the pre-created, usually the default campaigns that KV Core has curated for you to follow up with your general leads. And then you'll see a section for templates. Now, this is where you can create your own email templates, text templates, things like that. Well, KV Core has a handy tool in here where you can share your pre-made campaigns with other users. And effectively, if you've created your own custom emails or text templates, any sort of template that you create in your campaign, if you share that campaign with someone, you also share those templates with them. So I will emphasize what I'm sharing out with you guys is not meant to be used as a campaign. It's meant to be used as individual email templates, but I have set it up in such a way that it shouldn't automatically trigger for any of your leads. So let's explain how this works. So if you haven't ever had a campaign sharing token shared with you, here's how you would do it. From your marketing tab in the smart campaign section, where we are right now, to the right of where it says add campaign, there's a little green button that I go and click on, and it'll give me the option to please enter a campaign token to copy. So what you guys would do if you want to use those pre-created templates, and I'll showcase what they are if you're not quite sure if you want to, copy this just yet, you'll copy that token there. You'll paste it in to your campaign section. It will take a little bit of time to load. You'll see a little pop-up that says it'll take a little bit of time to load. You'll typically get emailed a response once that download is complete. And I'll show you what the campaign actually looks like here once it's added to your system. It's going to be called Valentine's Day Email Templates -SM Success Meetup. So letting you know, it in the description, it says this is Valentine's Day email templates provided during KV Course Success Meetup webinars, and it's not a real campaign. Do not run. Now, even if you were to accidentally turn this on, it should not trigger for anyone because it's only meant this. I kind of set up a trigger that probably no one's ever going to use, and it's hashtag KV Course Success Meetup. And if I open up the individual items or the individual templates that I've created here, you can see that if you were to send them out to someone, it's meant the system's going to send it to you, the agent. So it's not going to send it out to your leads. So won't accidentally send this out to your leads. So some of you are wondering at this point, okay, so what do we use this for? So once you've added the campaign to your system, those templates are automatically added to your template section. And furthermore, anywhere where you use an email template in KV Core, you're going to see that as an available option. As soon as that campaign's added to your system, I can actually go and I can delete this campaign if I want to. So I can go click on the name and I can go and remove that campaign, and your template should still be saved in your system. So let's showcase some of those template options. I'm going to head over to my Smart CRM since it's already Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Probably not necessary for me to use the scheduled mass emailers to send this email out in advance, unless you're planning on sending this email out tomorrow. If I want to send this email out now, I can just go to, say, the Smart CRM, and I can use the mass email option here. Either or, whatever makes sense to you. Another pro that I'll mention of the scheduled mass email feature, which I'll just go and I'll open in a tab. I won't get too much into this because if you guys were here last time, I don't want to repeat information. But one other additional benefit of the scheduled mass emailer is while in my CRM, I can send out a mass email, adjust the rows. You can send it out to 250 contacts at one time. From the scheduled mass emailer feature, which again is through the marketing tab, schedule mass emails, there it is. I can choose to send it to everyone from the same saved filter or everybody with the same hashtag. So if you've hashtag contacts, a good hashtag, if you guys are looking for ideas of how to organize your database, we can talk about hashtags in a future webinar. I think we have a couple in our YouTube channel as well. But little pro tip, if you're planning on regularly sending out, say, holiday messaging, not a bad idea to hashtag people holiday card lists or holiday messaging or something to that extent. So that way, if you don't want to send a message to everyone in your database, just to specific people, having them already hashtagged will make it easier for you to pinpoint those people you want to send this messaging to. And then the scheduled mass emailer will also let you to choose which statuses you want to send a hashtag to. And kind of cool with this feature, I could, if I really wanted to, select every single status in KV Core, except you won't find archived here, just a heads up. But if they're archived, you're not going to want to send the messaging anyways. But I can choose every single status here and effectively send this message to everyone in my database rather than going it through the Smart CRM where I'm choosing, up to 250 contacts at a time. Now, if you don't have that many contacts that you're sending this message to, then CRM is a pretty quick and easy way to do it as well. But while we're here, I'm going to go, I just checked off everybody on my first page here. Now, I know this is a test. Let me emphasize this is a test CRM test account. So some of these people won't even have emails, but we'll play around with it. I'll click mass email button and I'll look for a template, and I've labeled all the templates with Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day for Success Meetup. And as that campaign showed, there were 3 different email template options. I made one that's a little bit more generic, so would be helpful for, if you wanted to send it out to your sphere. I made one that's more specific to, say, new leads that you're generating from the system, people you're still trying to get engaged with you. And then I've made one that's for your closed contacts. And just to preface this, if you're not quite sure, if you're not quite familiar yet with our KV Core statuses here, when I'm talking about your sphere contacts here at KV Core, we think of your sphere as friends, family, neighbors, coworkers, people who may or may not be interested in real estate. Those new leads here at KV Core Well, those could be people that came in from, say, your website or a Facebook ad, people you know next to nothing about, and you're kind of on that fact finding mission. You're trying to get them to engage with you so you can determine how serious is their intent. Did they click on your website because they were just browsing, or did they click on your website because they're seriously looking to buy, the next 3 to 6 months, in the next year? What is their next steps? And then closed, obviously people that I've just closed a deal with. All right, so let's take a look at a couple of these options, and I'll explain ways that you can customize them yourself. Now, whenever you're editing messages in KV Core, just so you know, or editing emails in KV Core, or adding emails in KV Core, just so you know, there is a basic editor and there is an advanced email editor option. All of the templates which I've created for you guys are using the advanced email editor option. So what that means is there's some extra content options you can add in here. You can add images, buttons, social media links, text, videos if you wanted to. So just quickly showcasing these for you guys. So here's that sphere option. Has a cute little image. Happy Valentine's Day. Wishing you happiness on this Valentine's Day and every day. Something to note here, it's going to autofill in your agent signature because that's using a merge tag here. You can go and you can change this text if you want to, if you don't want to send this message out as it is. What I would recommend updating is the social media links will not automatically contain your social media. So you would need to, if you want to use this as is, click on that social media bar and you can add in your Facebook page, your Twitter, your Instagram if you want to share them out. If you don't have these pieces or you don't want to use them, you can delete them individually, or you can delete the whole social media bar just by clicking the trash can. Okay, and I'll just quickly showcase the other two, and then we're going to kind of shift gears because we're going to get into kind of part 2 of this, talking a little bit about website updates and ways to use kind of our lead capture tools or posting tools for the holiday. So I always think holidays are a really great excuse. If you haven't reached out in a while, maybe you haven't posted to your social media, maybe you haven't captured leads in a while, holidays are always a great excuse to get back in touch with everybody. So I'm going to type in Valentine's Day or Valentine one more time. And this time I'm going to click on the new lead option. Again, feel free to adjust these in any way that you see fit. If you don't like the photos I added, honestly, I grabbed some of these through, free stock photo options online. And if you need some recommendations, I have included in my agenda for you guys, I have included links to pexels.com and unsplash.com. If you've never used them before, but you're looking for free stock photos, whether it's to use in an email or on your website or anywhere online, these are easy free ones to utilize. And if you're looking for topics, you can type in Valentine's Day, hearts, flowers, pink, red. There's tons of options available to you. So this email template is for new leads. Subject is let me help you find a home you'll love. Bringing it back to real estate. You could make something that's more general if you're not looking to necessarily target. Maybe you just want to send out a Valentine's Day message to everyone. But this one is thank you for viewing listings on my website. Please let me know if I can lead you down the path to finding the home you will love. There we go. Handy little, cute little path image with some hearts. And this time I've utilized the button features of the email editor tool. So again, you'd have to add in your own links if you want to use these. The first one I've listed as or labeled as search homes for sale. If I wanted to give people a clickable button that's going to show them homes for sale, what I can do is I can utilize, say, my KV Core website, go to my handy search tab. Mine says find your dream home. Most of you guys by default on your websites will have a search tab. And I could go and I could use the filtering options, narrow down whatever search criteria I want to use, and add that URL, that link, into that email messaging. So I click on the button on the right-hand side. It's going to ask what URL I want to insert there, and I can go and post that in. You could also, coincidentally, for anyone who's already really aware of how to navigate their KV Core platform, you could also Maybe include a link to a squeeze page. Different options that you could post in there. And then the other button I have is a contact me button. One thing I'll let you know about these button options, they don't have to only open a web page. You'll notice this is a drop-down menu. So instead of using a web page URL, I could also choose that when they click that button, they're going to call a number. I can add in my own number here. Or when they click that button, they're just going to send me a text. So I can add in my telephone number and a message that it's going to send me when they click this button. So kind of a cool tip with that advanced email editor option. All I did was I added buttons, and those buttons are already in there. If you don't want to use those buttons or update them, I could just click on it again and use the trash can button to delete it. And then last but not least, Valentine's. Let's go and grab the one for our closed contacts, just so you can see a visual example of that. This one, I'm just, did I mention that I love being your real estate agent? Sends a little thank you. Valentine's Day is a wonderful day. While it may not feel appropriate in all situations to, wish them love or happiness, it's never a bad idea to share your appreciation. If you're trying to, tiptoe the line where you're looking more like a business professional. I'm a romantic, so I'm definitely someone who, wishes everyone love and happiness on Valentine's Day, as cheesy as that sounds. But if you want to take a more professional method here, you could just choose this as an opportunity to thank them. Again, feel free to edit the messaging if this doesn't sound like something you would say to your customers. And same thing as that first template option I showed you, this one has a bar for social media links. Again, feel free to add in your own social media links here. Delete this if that isn't something you want to send out in your email templates. I always think it's never a bad idea. People you just closed a deal with, they probably already have established a relationship with you. They probably know you fairly well, but it doesn't hurt to sometimes, hey, have you joined me? Are you following me on Facebook or Twitter or any occasion where you can become a voice in the back of their minds, where you're staying regularly in touch with someone, whether that be through social media or just maybe you're using the automation KB core to regularly keep in touch with people. It's never a bad idea to remind them, hey, I was your real estate agent. If you need help in the future, if you have referrals, I'm always here. So never a bad idea to kind of remind them of your social media pages as well, if you are someone who's using social media. Now, keep in mind, this is all editable. You can go in and change the content of these email templates at any time after you've made a copy. Go back to content. If I want to, instead of say this here, maybe I want to add in, a button like I showcased earlier, I just grab that and drag it over to where I want it. I'm not going to go and edit these because I know you guys are going to be using them too. All right, so those are an explanation of those email templates. Let's shift gears here and talk a little bit about kind of part 2, website updates and landing pages and squeeze pages. Now, I know for a lot of you, as I mentioned previously, it's already Valentine's Day. It might not be worth it in the back of your head to make a bunch of updates to your KV Core website for the holiday halfway through the day. But keep in mind that you can use the ideas and the tools that I'm going to talk about real quick here in the future for future holidays as well, or any day of the week. Or honestly, I don't think it's so bad to, if you want to update your website or something to that extent for the entire month or the entire week. No harm in kind of dragging that out just a little bit personally. So we're going to head on over to the Web and IDX, quickly point out a couple of website update options. And then if there's time allowing, we'll also poke around in the lead engine for some of those lead generation tools and maybe create a couple of posts to send out for Valentine's Day. All right, so quickly in Web and IDX, and I'll let you know if you want to take a deeper dive in ways to personalize your website, There's lots of resources all throughout KV Core. We've got a huge support center full of articles. There's different articles, whether you're looking to adjust your site content or your settings. There's articles on testimonials, service areas. You can find it all in there through, again, the support center. I'll also highly recommend in the live training calendar, especially if you're kind of newer here to KV Core, Wednesday's Agent Quick Start Part 3 does actually do kind of a step-by-step of ways to add in custom pages, change your background image, things like that. So if you ever need a refresher, you can always attend that one. And that does have live Q&A. So you can always chat in your questions along the way. All right, so here in Web and IDX, a couple kind of quick updates that I like to make. So I like to go to this edit settings option right here and maybe just update. If you're just looking for a quick, easy update for the holidays, there's nothing simpler than just changing, say, your background image and custom color. You can also add in YouTube videos for the background, or you'll see on my KV Core website, I've even also created an updated custom page here for a holiday. So best Valentine's Day date spots in San Diego. If you guys are looking for some inspiration, it's never a bad idea to really showcase your expertise in the area in which you work. Show that you are, that area's expert. So if they're, people are trying to understand, why should I buy a home in this area? You are the expert on that subject. So I always like to post about that on the website. You can also recycle that same content and maybe add it in a blog post. So really quickly, just a brief run through. What I did was I honestly just grabbed an image. I'm pretty sure it was from pexels.com. Typed in something like heart, or pink, or flowers, or whatever the case may be. I always make sure that I'm filtering by horizontal images if I'm using it as a website background, and you can go and download these images for free. Now, in your Web and IDX tab, I'll let you know that KV Core has a lot of pre-created background images for you. None of them will be Valentine's Day related. Most are, different locations, homes, cityscapes, different couple options that you can go and scroll through here. So those will always be sitting here for you. If you have a background that's currently set up for your KV Core website, it might not be bad to give yourself a little reminder, maybe jot down a note if you want to go and change your website back to its original background after the holiday is over, give yourself a little note of that. If it's provided by KV Core, it will still be here in your library section, but not a bad idea if you want to make sure you can easily convert back to remember what that image was. Now, all I did was I went to Web and IDX, and again, I went to the website settings section. I scrolled down until I hit upload your own image. It's only a couple of scrolls down. A little pro tip when you're dealing with the settings section of your Web and IDX, if you're using a PC, you can just hit Control F on your keyboard and use that little search bar and type in a subject. So, if I'm looking to upload an image, I can type in something like upload image and quickly find what I'm looking for. If I'm looking to add in a YouTube video, I'll type in YouTube and it'll take me to where the YouTube section is on the settings page, because the settings section is quite lengthy if you don't know where you're going to find certain features. Now, it'll tell you right here from recommended image sizing. Now, the Pexel images won't be a perfect match. You can obviously resize images. In most cases, it's not usually a big issue here. I can go and after I've downloaded the image that I want to try out, you can test it. Updates to your website load pretty quickly, so you can always go back and change it later if you need to. So for example, I'll go and I'll grab this image here of just some attractive roses, just to throw an example at you. Now, just by clicking that from my photo options on my computer doesn't automatically download it to KV Core. I have options to resize, or kind of not necessarily resize, but adjust the focal area. So again, we're using a landscape option here. I can choose if I'm showing the top of the image, the bottom of the image, the center. I can adjust it however I like. I can rotate the image if I needed to. And then when I'm happy with how it's centered, I'm going to go hit confirm, and I'll want to hit this download button. Now it takes just a couple of seconds typically to download. You'll always see updates that the image was successful. If something doesn't look like it's working right, always, always, always reach out to support. If you can give them screenshots, let them know where the issue is happening. Always a helpful idea. But I've gone and I've uploaded it. And when you upload an image, it'll typically showcase at the top of your background images selection and will automatically check it as an option. Now, when you're dealing with just standard photo images, not a YouTube video, you'll notice that you can select multiple images. Now, if I've got multiple images selected, it's going to showcase on the main page of my KV Core website. It'll only showcase one image at a time. Now, this is not kind of a rolling, what's the word, slideshow here. It'll stay as this image until I go back and refresh the screen. So it's already, you can see how quick that was. I downloaded the image, went to my KV Core website, and it had already changed that image, but I refreshed it. Since I've got multiple images selected, it's going to refresh. It's going to change images every time I refresh it. Now, if I just want to have, maybe I didn't like this one very much, I can always go and delete my images if I know I'm not going to use them, or I can just deselect it if I just want, whatever image I had previously to be showcased. I'll just go ahead and hit save, and I'll go and I'll delete that one as well. So I'll probably not be using that one. So we've got our background image. Quick and easy way to update your color, which I'm sure most people don't need a tutorial on this, but just a fun tip that I thought I'd share with you guys. If I want my custom colors of my websites, see like this banner that we've got going on here, you'll also see it on the text at the top. You'll also see it when you head over to, say, your search tabs or your cell tabs. Anywhere where there's a banner, you'll see that custom color pop up. After a brief but dramatic pause, it'll decide to show. There we go. There's that custom color I've added. Just a little pro tip here. If you want it to match your background image, there's a little dropper icon here that if I go and click on it, I can go hover over, say, my image here and grab whatever color from that image that I want to pull as my custom color. So just a little pro tip if you want those to similarly match. All right, and then last but not least, just another little suggestion. If you wanted to add, say, a YouTube video instead of a photo image for your background, I'll go and I'll use my handy tip of Control F, type in YouTube here. Now, if you do want to add a video for your background, it does have to be a YouTube video. It's going to ask for the YouTube ID. So if you're using YouTube and you've got your own videos up here, great option. If you've got a video clip of you, walking through a home, that's a great example as a background video if you'd like to. If you're looking for, maybe you don't have your own videos, but you want to post a YouTube video, do double check that it's something like a free stock video. An example I frequently give is, free stock video of San Diego timeline. If I wanted to make it, Valentine's Day focused, I could do free stock video, maybe type in Valentine's Day. Let's see what we pull up here. Now, I will let you know it's going to capture the background, but it will not capture sound. So just so you know, if you're choosing something that's a song, that's not going to showcase the background of your KV Core website. One thing I will also mention that some people prefer videos, some people prefer YouTube videos. YouTube videos are, while definitely attention grabbing, if you know that a lot of your clients possibly have poor internet connection, for some people it can slow down the loading process of your KV Core website. So just something to consider. I've never seen it be a big issue, but something you may want to consider. Some people love the video, some people prefer static images. Do whatever you prefer. So let's say I'm going to grab this stock video. Something else to be wary of. Let's make sure we capture this. Ooh, good. There's no sound. if I'm using someone else's product that they've posted online. Now, those photo images, it's pretty simple because we're downloading it to the computer. It's saved to our computer. That video will always be, or that photo will always be accessible. But if we're using something that's been posted online and it's not our own content, like a YouTube video, keep in mind if they ever take that YouTube video down, it will no longer function. So something to be wary of if you're using someone else's content. Now, for a YouTube video, I don't need the whole URL here. I just need the YouTube ID. And what that's going to do is that's going to make sure it's just showcasing the video and it's not going to showcase, say, the ads before and after. Now, there's a couple different ways that you can grab the YouTube ID. Typically, when you're looking at the URL, it's going to be this little code that's after the equal sign. And I know that can be kind of hard to pinpoint, especially if you guys are, if this looks a little small on your screen, it may be hard to see. Sometimes I like to click the share button as well, because sometimes it seems a little easier for me to pinpoint. And after the backslash, that little code there, that's also the website ID or the YouTube ID. Now, no worries if you accidentally grab the wrong YouTube ID and it doesn't load properly. You're going to see that right away when you refresh your KV core screen. So you can go grab a different code. Additionally, I have included support articles on this topic, background image, video, and color updates. You can go click on this link to that support article that will also explain how you grab your YouTube ID. So going back to Web and IDX, again, I searched for YouTube and it'll take me to the template section where I can add in a background, video, YouTube ID. Now, I still have photos selected, but if I add in a YouTube video here, just know, and I click that save button, it's going to prioritize the video over the images. So it's going to show the video rather than showing the images that I had selected previously. So if you want to go back to just using images as your background, make sure you go back to your YouTube ID section and delete this coding out and resave it. Otherwise, it's going to continuously show your background video. So just going back to my KV Core website real quick, I'm gonna let it refresh for a second here. We're gonna see what that video looks like here. Again, this is just one that I grabbed in the spur of the moment. I have no idea what this is gonna look like. So after a brief but dramatic pause, there we go. It should always showcase as full screen. There we go. Happy Valentine's Day. Cute little video for my background. All right. So if you're not looking to update your KV Core websites for the holiday, there's still many ways that you can capitalize on the holiday for you're sending out messages to your customers, generating leads, grabbing attention to your KV Core website or to your, to capture leads in the platform. So shifting gears here, I will let you know we're nearing the end of our time. If you guys have questions related to anything that I'm talking about here, or questions maybe unrelated to today's topic, but related to KV Core, feel free to pop those in the chat or the Q&A at any time. I'm always trying to make sure I always keep the chat up on my screen. So if anything enters in there, I'm going to look at it and I'm going to try to respond to you guys. So if you have questions, again, Success Meetups are also open Q&A. Feel free to pop those in. But we're going to shift gears here and I'm going to head over to the lead engine. So I did these slightly out of order if we're following our agenda here. We talked about part one again. We reviewed the messaging. We talked about website updates. If anyone has an interest in custom pages or blog posts, I'm happy to talk about that with you guys as well. For my custom page that I added up here, that best Valentine's Day date spots in San Diego. Pretty easy to make your own custom content, again, through the Web and IDX page. I would recommend clicking on that support article I've linked in the agenda, because after you create your custom page, you will have to go to your website settings to choose which custom pages you're showcasing on your website. And, All I did was I grabbed an article. You could type out your own date spots if you know your own date spots in your particular area where you're focused. If you already are blogging or posting somewhere online, you could just include that as a link in your custom page. So pretty easy to create those. Again, add it to your website. Oh, and then someone asked for lead gen ideas. So we'll do a little bit of that. And then someone asked about custom pages. Okay, so we'll start with lead gen ideas because that's kind of where I was shifting gears to. And we'll try to add some custom page content towards the end. All right, so lead gen. I'm going to go and remove that find option here. Lead engine in your KV Core platform is where you would go not only to say bulk import your files or lists of contacts, it's where you could go to sync third-party leads. This is also where you could go to utilize our free DIY lead generation tools. Just so you know, also in KV Core, you can also purchase leads through the marketplace. And I won't be talking about that here today, but if you want some insight into some of the marketplace offerings, I'll let you know we do have a weekly webinar on Wednesdays about marketplace overview options. But for these lead generation tools, it might not automatically occur to you, but there's many ways that you could use these tools and post them out for your holiday, or just kind of use a catchphrase or something related to the holiday as an excuse to kind of post them out. So let's go through these options here. Text codes, if that's not automatically ringing a bell in your head, if you're kind of scratching your head, I'm not quite sure what text codes are. You've probably seen them at some point in your life on some piece of advertisement. So for example, you know, a lot of times for a lot of stores that you go into, a lot of grocery stores, shopping malls, there may be, you know, advertisements online or on TV about, you know, text code shopper to this number to get discounts or to get weekly updates on our sales, things like that. You can create your own custom text codes in KV Core as well. Now, I will let you know that if you're utilizing text codes in KV Core, they are utilizing your smart number. So they're not utilizing your own cell phone number. They're connected to your KV Core smart number, and those smart numbers, as implied, will know to direct anyone who's texting your code. That lead's going to your smart CRM. So they do know how to correctly route it to your CRM. Now, you all have, just to start out, for anyone who's brand new here at KV Core, you all have a custom text code that is your name. You'll see that on the right-hand side. Now, I will let you know, those of you out there with very common names, any Chris's or Sarah's or, you know, Mark's in the audience, if you've got multiple people in your office with the same name, you may see your name and your last name initial or something like that. So some variation of your name here. But you can also create your own text codes by going to click Add New. You get to choose what that custom code message is. So here's where we could make it kind of fun for the holidays. I could have my custom code be Home You'll Love. I could have the custom code be Valentine's Day Special. I could make the code be, you know, Heart This Home. Something fun and catching. Think about some alliteration there with your code. And I get to choose when someone texts my code. Keep in mind, when they text your code, it's going to capture their phone number. We get to decide what kind of follow-up messaging they receive. So if I'm using this custom code on, say, print advertisings, maybe a flyer or a sign writer for a specific listing, I can add in that MLS ID here to that one specific listing. If I'm sharing out information about, say, multiple listings, I could write my own custom message here and maybe include something like a link to, you know, filtered listings on my website. Or I could add in a link to, say, a squeeze page or a text code. Don't worry if you don't know what squeeze pages and text codes are. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes here. Now, I also want to, you don't have to choose this option, but I do recommend whenever possible, if it gives you an option to create a hashtag in the system. So that way, any leads that you're capturing through this tool, that they're automatically tagged in your CRM and they're easier to pinpoint. This also allows you the option, if I wanted to say create after this text code, maybe I also want to create something like a custom text smart campaign, one that just sends out text messages or maybe includes a phone calls too. Probably don't want to have any email messages in there if we're only capturing their phone number with this process. But if I create a hashtag, I could create some custom follow-up messaging to be triggered by that hashtag as well. Now, you don't have to do that yet. If this is a little bit beyond, I still recommend creating a hashtag. If you're not quite sure what to label or hashtag these people as, I would just do whatever kind of first comes to your mind, whatever seems really memorable to you personally. I can give you tons of suggestions, but the most helpful hashtags are the ones that are going to be most relevant to you and your system and your database. So, if this is a Valentine's themed custom text code, I might hashtag them, home heart for home or something like that. Or if maybe the follow-up response I gave to them, had to do with a particular area of listings or a particular type of listing, maybe this advertisement was, I'm targeting people looking for pool homes, or I'm targeting people looking for one-story homes or homes in a specific city. Then maybe I'll make that hashtag pertain to the people that I've grabbed. So, hashtag pool home buyers, something like that. So whatever makes sense to you here. And then most of you guys, majority of people probably won't have a lot of smart number options. Now, if you're an admin in the system, you may have a couple options here. Make sure that you're clicking the correct smart number for how you want, make sure when you're putting this out on, say, print advertising, or if you're posting it online and you're saying, hey, text this code to this number, make sure you're using the correct number that you want that associated with. But for most of you, we'll just have one smart number be your main office smart number. And I can go and add it. Now, I know I didn't spend a lot of time on smart numbers. If you guys want to, a lot of time on text codes or smart numbers. If you guys want a deep dive on that subject in a future success meetup, feel free to let me know. I'm going to double check the chat because I know I saw a question about YouTube videos, and then we'll dive into some landing page and squeeze page ideas for Valentine's Day as well. And Rosetta said, for YouTube video to run, do we uncheck photos? Rosetta, you do not need to uncheck your photos for that YouTube video to run. So it will always prioritize, if you've got a YouTube video code in there, it'll typically always prioritize the YouTube video, even if you have photos checked. But I will let you know, if you want to revert back to showcasing videos, you'll have to remove that YouTube video coding. So great question. Hope that made sense. All right. So landing pages and squeeze pages. If you've never created these in KV Core, just know that they're utilizing your KV Core website. You're generating a link that you can post online. These are excellent for your social media pages. Now, text codes are more so suited to your print advertising. You can put them online as well. I would say, since we're on Valentine's Day, if you're using these ideas for Valentine's Day, you'll probably be creating a landing page or a squeeze page. Maybe save the text codes for the next upcoming holiday. Landing pages and squeeze pages. Well, landing page, there's a lot of customization. I'll definitely dive into landing pages, but just a quick overview of squeeze pages. There's 4 main types of squeeze pages. I'll open this up real quick. I'll click my website URL. I'll click start building. And the 4 main types of pages you'll see is a squeeze page that advertises multiple properties. And backing it up one step further for you guys, if you ever get confused what's a landing page as opposed to a squeeze page, well, a little tip that I like to use is, when I think of squeeze pages, I think of squeezing those leads back to my website. That's how I like to think of it. So squeeze page, I could do one that showcases multiple properties. It's like sending them back to my website, to that search tab, to look at multiple properties, and kind of like creating a search alert in KV Core. If you've built out a search alert, I know sometimes we refer to it as property alerts or listing alerts, means the same thing. It's kind of the same sort of idea where you choose the filtering options there. You can choose area, price point, beds, baths, style. So you can narrow down what kind of properties they'll see in that multi-property search. Or I could create a squeeze page where they're just sent to my website to look at a single property. Or I could create a squeeze page where they're sent to the sell tab on my website to sign up for a home valuation. Or I could create a squeeze page where they're sent to my KV Core website to sign up for a market report. So they're sent to the little market report page. So for those squeeze pages, as you can probably guess, there's a lot of customization. Some of you may be wondering, how do I tie this in with Valentine's Day? Well, I would say if you're creating a squeeze page, whatever it is that you decide to focus on, it's all on how you present it to the user. So for example, I've created a couple of past squeeze pages. I won't walk through this today because I do want to focus on the landing page side of things where there's a little bit more customization going on. But I've got, we'll just go grab, here we go. I've got a past, I'm just going to grab a random multi-property squeeze page in the city of Oceanside. I think the focus is Oceanside coming soon. So I can go and I can view that anytime you create a squeeze or a landing page in KV Core, just know that these update. They're always going to show current listings. So I can use these again and again. Okay, good thing I checked that one. That one doesn't have any current results. So let me double check one more and then we'll go and we'll post this out real quick. So this is Vista Family Homes, I believe, and there should be some listings under this one. Yep, there we go. It's got some results. So this one's good to post online. So here's how I could kind of take this and turn it into a Valentine's Day post. And it's nothing, mind blowing, but again, it's all in how you present it. So there's so many different ways to tie it in. So if I grab that link to add to a squeeze page and go back to say my Facebook page or your Twitter page or wherever on social media that you want to post it or anywhere online where you want to post it, I should say. Ideally, you'd be posting this, not in my story. There we go. What's on my mind? Ideally, I would be posting this on probably a Facebook business page. If you want to expand your exposure, little pro tip when you're posting on Facebook, maybe consider not just your own individual page, but maybe consider joining some Facebook groups. If my focus is the area of Vista or the area of San Diego, maybe I want to join some groups that are city-based. Or if I'm posting about a particular subject or area, and I've given examples in the past of doing squeeze pages that are focused for people looking for homes on or around golf courses. Maybe I want to join a couple groups that are golf focused and kind of post in there. Now, if you are joining groups, always be wary of any rules around those Facebook groups. Some of them may tell you that they don't, you're not allowed to post anything that requires them to register. So you can adjust your squeeze pages where they're not forced to register, or you could just look for other groups, but do be wary of their rules. So ideally, this probably isn't the greatest loading photo. I could go back to my squeeze pages. I could create a different squeeze page with a different Facebook cover photo here. But for argument's sake, we're just going to pretend that this is the squeeze page I'm using. Once that photo loads on up, I don't have to keep this link in here. I know it's pretty ugly. I don't want to showcase this out. So I can go and remove it. The photo will stay where it is. It'll still have a link to my KV Core website, to that squeeze page I've created. But this is where I could go and I could create, my kind of tagline, my attention grabber, something related to, again, kind of the concept of, are you looking for a home you'll love this Valentine's Day? Are you looking to fall in love with a home? Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I want to thank you guys so much for, using me as your real estate agent in whatever area, sharing out my appreciation. Or maybe if you're kind of new to KV Core, maybe you want to, just for fun, share this on maybe a personal Facebook page. Say, hey, I just got a new business website. I would love your help and support by checking it out and getting your feedback. So for anyone out there who's a new KV Core user, that's an acceptable way to post it too. So essentially create your tagline there, relate it back to the holiday. There you go. You got an excuse to post. Okay, so nothing mind blowing here, but you get the idea. Now with landing pages, we can definitely be more customized. We can even gear it more towards Valentine's Day, because you can choose your own background image. You can choose where you're linking them to next. I know we're running low on time, but we'll try to squeeze this in real quick. I just noticed in the Q&A, Erica said, why aren't market reports under squeeze pages when they make you sign up like a landing page? You know, that is an interesting question. I mean, you could create landing pages work a little bit differently. Eric, have you used landing pages in the system? For any of you guys who haven't created a landing page through KV Core, it is a very different visual experience. Yes, it's kind of like they're signing up like a landing page. That's a good point. Okay. Let me go and showcase this just to show anyone who's not sure about the difference yet. We'll talk about that. And then someone also mentioned in the chat, do you recommend KV Core marketplace ads or running Facebook ads yourself? You know, that's a loaded question. I would say if you have experience running Facebook ads, it's never a, you know, you can absolutely do it yourself. But I would say it's always helpful to have someone with experience, someone who knows the right times to post Facebook ads, the right frequency to post Facebook ads, that will continuously post Facebook ads. Facebook ads, if you're doing it yourself, aren't probably going to produce the results that you want if you're just posting those ads, once a month or once a week. You really have to get in the habit of posting these things regularly to see those results. So if that's a lot of work to put on your plate, KV Core Marketplaces ads will essentially do that process for you. So if it's a situation where you know how to work the system, you know how to post yourself, and you can habitually count on yourself to post them regularly, then you can absolutely do Facebook ads yourself. Or decide how you want to post them. But KV Core Marketplace ads, and there's different advertising options. I know I'm kind of speaking of this in general terms rather than more specifically to Facebook ads. But just something to kind of consider. Do you want a little bit more expertise behind the scenes, or can you be counted to kind of do that process yourself? And I know it all depends on kind of what package you buy and how you set up the ad options. It also depends on kind of your attention grabber, again, as we talked about, how to phrase it, how to sell yourself. I'm definitely a big fan of our marketplace offerings, but if you want to know more about it, you can attend, the marketplace overview webinar. There's more details in the marketplace, so you can go and click on those options if you want to read more about them before actually making the purchase as well. And we're right at the end of the time, and I know we caught some questions. Erica just said in the Q&A, I think we should be able to make a market report squeeze page without making them sign up. If we give them something of value, I think it would be more likely than when you do a landing page, would be more of a chance for them to sign up. Okay. There's multiple ways that you could do it as well, because you could do it through a landing page as well. I know we're right at the end of time. I want to quickly just jump into this for half a second. If anyone needs to jump out, you're welcome to jump out. Again, this webinar was recorded. I'll share out one more time in the chat. This recording will get added to the YouTube channel, but additionally, I'll also post it in this agenda as well. So you'll be able to catch this recording later on here. But quickly, just kind of finishing up this thought here, I'll quickly click start building a landing page. Now, where I was going to go with this for Valentine's Day purposes, just so you know, you can adjust the background image, the custom text. Oh, and so sorry, Rosetta said she lost the last two links that I posted in the chat. Okay, I was just reposting that agenda, so I'll post that in one more time if you missed it. And there are links to the YouTube channel and Facebook group in the agenda as well. So if you can click on that agenda, you should have all of that. Yeah, the agenda has links to there we go, the YouTube channel and the Facebook group, or you can grab those from the live training calendar as well. So yeah. Okay. But that landing page, there we go. We're on the custom page. Again, you can tie this even more into the holiday because you can change the custom background and the custom text. Now I can't change the color of the text, but I can change what the text says. So again, you can gear it even more towards your holiday focus if you wanted to. I was going to talk a little bit about a pro tip here. If you're choosing your own custom background for this, which there's a lot of pre-created background options, none of which are holiday related, I apologize. Or you can choose an MLS image background. If you're choosing a custom background here, it will ask for the URL to the background, which if you're grabbing a background image from say Pexels or Unsplash, you're downloading it. So it's not on a YouTube, or it's not on a, URL link that you can go and catch there. But a little pro tip, something I just wanted to showcase here. In KV Core from Quick Actions or from WebIDX, you can create a blog post real quick. And the blog post area, we're not actually going to create a blog post here, but in the blog post area, there's a section where I can insert an image. And if I upload an image from my computer, this sounds a little crazy, sounds a little roundabout, but I swear I'll bring it back to the topic here. I can grab an image that I've downloaded to my computer, and you can upload it. Ooh, oh, I've got it. I grabbed a big one. I can upload it, but what it will also do is it will generate a source link. It'll generate a URL link for you. So kind of a cool workaround. I can go and I could grab that URL, and then I can use that as my custom background image. And KV Core will hold on to that image. It'll keep it hosted. Even if I don't actually put it in a blog post, I'm just using it to generate that URL link. I can put that in a custom landing page. So just a kind of a cool workaround. I believe we do have a support article about that. And of course, we can try to give, if you need some background information as well, let us know on a future success meetup. I'm happy to kind of show you step by step how that process works as well. That's kind of where I was going with this option here. And then to tie into questions that we were getting earlier from Erica, yes, you could also make a landing page that gets people to sign up for a market report. And for landing pages, you can decide, you can capture their email addresses, or you could also capture their cell phone numbers. You can make this mandatory or optional. And you get to choose for your landing pages where you direct them to now. And I'd love to dive into this more in future success meetups. There's different landing page options for you guys. But for that standard lead capture one, I could choose to direct them back to my KV Core website, to that market report section for them to go and sign on up. Or I could just choose to offer to put them on a market report. So I could send them back to, anywhere I like. Maybe I don't want to send them back to my website. Maybe I'm going to share them some other information for them, and then just promise to email them or put them on a market report. But in that case, you do want to make it kind of specialized to the area in which they're looking for a market report. So you know exactly what market report to send them. So it does have to be a little bit specialized. Okay. All right. I think we're well over time here, so I got to wrap it on up. I want to thank you guys for joining today's KV Core Success Meetup. I appreciate all of you for making time in your busy schedules. Again, that agenda will be accessible to you guys. If you haven't grabbed that already, maybe bookmark it for later if you want to use any of these links to reference on your own. I will be back for tomorrow's success meetup. So if there's things that we touched upon today that we didn't really get to dive into, tomorrow's subject is updating your email signature, but I don't really expect it to take the full hour. So if you guys have other topics you want to talk about, bring them back for tomorrow. And I will, of course, make sure that today's recording link gets added to this agenda. I think that's all my announcements. Thank you guys again for joining. Thanks for your awesome questions, keeping me on my toes. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and a very happy Valentine's Day. Take care, everyone.